There are actually three ways that you can buy a franchise. The most popular way is actually the worst choice you can make. Now, the worst way, which is what I call the hope method, goes something like this. Hey, honey, I love these burgers. Let's buy a franchise. Or, honey, this franchise is really popular. Let's invest. Now, we've covered many franchise brands here on the channel that sold like crazy initially and ended up imploding and everyone losing their money. All that rapid growth means is that the company has a strong selling process, and that's not always a good thing. Now, in this case, you're hoping that the local market has good demand for the franchise. You are hoping your operational preferences and your strengths are a fit for the franchise. You're hoping the competition isn't too intense in your city. You're hoping the franchise is the most profitable one in the space, and on and on and on. So obviously that's the worst way, and sadly that's the way most people do it. Now, the best way, of course, is to conduct a full diligence process that aligns your strengths, your skills, your local market demand and competition, all the other criteria with the ideal franchise. Now, we're not going to look at that today, but I'll place a link above if you'd like to learn more. Now, if for some reason you don't want to conduct the full diligence and alignment process, there is a way to quickly find premium franchise markets through what we call preferred development markets, or PDMs. So what is a PDM and why should buyers consider looking for them specifically? Well, franchises, as they expand, as they grow, they gain access to a lot of data regarding ideal market demographics, competition, local economies, and a lot more information. Now, ultimately, they understand exactly what type of markets are the absolute best for their services. Now, if you call a franchise and you say, hey, I want to open an upscale day spa franchise here in Flint, Michigan, they're absolutely going to sell it to you. But it's probably not a premium market for that specific franchise. You might be better off something like an automotive repair brand. Anyway, what franchises often do after they have all this data is determine specific cities that perfectly match the criteria of their highest performing markets. Now, they're not going to advertise these markets because obviously they don't want people to think the other markets out there are not just as good, but they do tell us about these markets. Brokers and consultants, we get regular communication from franchisors that list 3 to 5 markets that the franchisor has identified as premium markets. This is a great territory, and they really want to have a franchisee representing them in that territory. Now, these markets often have been identified as having things like low competition, ideal demographics, strong economies, and sometimes there's even overlap demand from a franchisee in an adjacent territory. They just can't service that area as it's too far, or whatever the case may be. So buyers sometimes can even walk into existing revenue, in some cases, at the same price as another territory. So instead of just investing because you hope the market's good for a particular franchise, buyers looking at PDMs can start off by looking at what type of franchises are PDMs and would be ideal in their specific city and their demand. Now, you're still going to have to ensure the franchise is a good fit for your operational strengths, your preferences, all those other things. But with a PDM, you walk into a territory that has been already identified and vetted as having the top metrics for success. Out of hundreds or even thousands of cities, potentially in the USA, the franchisor identified this city as one of the top 5, and they really want to get representation in this space. Unfortunately, they don't advertise these PDMs. Most franchisors don't want to disparage other cities, but you can get that information by contacting a broker. We keep an updated database of preferred development markets here at Franchise Inspectors. If you'd like to find out what's available in your city, I'll place that link up above, and our franchise education playlist is down below. Thanks for watching.